Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm literally breaking down my squats for you. So my squat wasn't always as good, and I'm sure some of you ladies can relate to that. So I decided, why not finally break down my squat and how I fixed my squat, how I no longer have back pain or even knee pain, and also how important it is to have a proper form when you do back squats or even any types of squats. So I literally break it all down for you in this video, so make sure to really listen closely or even take notes, because I put a lot of effort into explaining my squats to you as best of my ability. And even after explaining this and explaining about my squat in this video, this is basically just touching the surface of breaking down a squat. There goes so much into performing a squat, so I try to keep it super simple for most of you to understand and hopefully also fix your squat. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So the first thing you have to focus on is your hand positioning. So I kind of want to go through this step by step. So starting by the hand positioning, you have to place your hands and move them in as close to your body as possible, but only as far as not letting your hand pass the line of your elbow. So only as close as your shoulder mobility allow you to. If your wrist passes the alignment of your elbow, your grip will therefore be considered too close, and if your placement of your hands are too narrow, you'll no longer be able to create the same tension and tightness in your upper body to lift the weight safe and properly. And that is why having a proper hand placement plays such a big role, because those are the ones that allows you to keep tension and that tightness in your back. And the next step is to focus on your torso, but what controls the torso is your tightness, which is partly controlled by proper breathing. But most think the tightness is just to squeeze your abs, but there's much more to it. You will be missing out on a lot of stability by only engaging your abs, which will result in that you're only pushing your abs forward. Therefore, you will leave your lower back open for a lot more injuries because of your lower back aren't tight and engaged, and you can therefore go into an extension of your lower back, and your lower back can therefore take the load from the lift since it's not engaged. This could actually end very badly. It can actually cause you disc herniation, and I actually talked more about this in another video of mine about butt wink. So if you want to watch that video, I will be linking that one as well. So how you should go about proper breathing and setting up for your lift is with a proper brace. So you have to inhale big air in and focus on pushing the air down and out. So you're really getting your obliques engaged and tight as well, while creating a lot of tension throughout your whole core and not just your abs. But all of this can't happen if you're not incorporating your glutes. So you cannot have a proper brace while having an improper tilt in your lower back and glutes. So you have to kind of tuck in your pelvis and really squeeze your glutes so you neutralize your hips under you and under the bar instead of leaving them unengaged and loosely behind you. So to highlight, it is absolutely key you push down and out in your breathing to engage those obliques and your full core. Don't worry much about your abs will come along while doing so. So you have to aim for a complete tightness around your whole core, so your abs, obliques, lower back, a complete 360-degree tension. And that is also another reason why many wear belts when they lift. It is not to support your lower back on its own. You have to be the one to do the hard work by filling in the belt with air all around. I just thought I wanted to mention that since there's a lot of misconceptions about using the belt. To move on to the knee and ankle placement on your eccentric and concentric movement of your squat, let me just start by saying that there have been so much preaching about weight back, sit on your heels, butt back, etc., which looks more like a hinge in my opinion, which is also all good for some body types in a low squat bar. But for most, almost all, this is not the optimal standard of squat, and also could be a leading form for injuries, and it's just a horrible form for squat. And especially nowadays where we have Instagram girls just trying to show their glutes, pushing back their butts and setting a really bad example. So don't do this. And as I go down on the squat around my isometric hold, you can really see how big of a role the ankle mobility really has and how good of a dorsiflex that you really have to have. Also, as you can see, I am maintaining the pressure in my toes because I'm allowing my knees to take a proper positioning in front of my toes to counterbalance my hip mobility while really opening up in my hips while keeping an okay upright torso. Here we can also mention the type of shoes you should be wearing. See, if you don't have an issue with your ankle mobility, I would prefer shoes off for proper placement of your feet and really get the best spread of your toes. But some struggle with their ankle mobility, and that will therefore mess up the whole setup because of the struggle, will therefore travel from the ankles to the knees to the hips and so on. So you can see how one factor can really mess up your complete setup for your squat, and you really get to see how big of a role every single step really has. But to get back on the shoes, that is why some proper shoes will have a little bit of a lift in the back, which will help bring forward your knees and help your ankle mobility, because you might have a restriction there. Or if you don't have proper lifting shoes, which is just not any shoes, I'm not saying Air Max, I'm actually saying proper lifting shoes. Also, a good alternative for this could be standing on 2 5-pound plate weights with your heel could also just do the trick. But this forward knee positioning is absolutely key for a proper squat. And not only that, you have to maintain that forward knee throughout the concentric movement of the squat. So when you go up, it is absolutely critical that the knee maintain the same forward positioning, especially in the first movement of getting up from the squat. And one of the reasons for this is to prevent lifting the bar with your hips first, because if the forward knee positioning is not maintained, you are going to switch the load from your quads and glutes to more of a lower back and hamstring focused, and that can end very bad as far as getting injured. And one last thing I want to touch upon, it's a little bonus I guess, it is the focus of the glutes. If you want to engage your glutes even greater in your squats, you can with help of your feet positioning. So we all know we have to stand a little outwards with our toes in our squat. But imagine if your foot was a screw and you have to feel like you are turning it without actually turning it. So your feet does not really move, but by creating the pressure outwards, you will fire up those glutes as well. And this could also help the prevention of valgus knee while squatting. This is a whole nother topic, but valgus knee is when your knees goes inwards, which can be really dangerous for most. So by performing the twist and activating your glutes, as well as really opening up in your hips, you should be able to maintain a good positioning of your knees and hips throughout your squat. So just to completely break it down, I want to show you an example of a good squat, which I'm going to show you right now with all of the things mentioned in this video applied. And then I'm also going to show you a bad squat. This is the type of squat I kind of used to do, and this is absolutely horrible. And that is it, you guys. That is my squat for you. I can imagine some of you still have questions, so feel free to comment down below and I will get back to you and hopefully help you as well. As I already mentioned in the beginning of this video, this is basically only touching the surface level of a squat. You can literally break down this movement in so much more depth, but I try to keep it super simple for you all to understand, and I try not to drag it out too much either for you to lose attention while watching. So yeah, I really hope that you guys like this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did, because I put a lot of effort into this video. And also, if you want to watch more videos like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.